Hi, this is Dr. Casey Crisp. I've just spent 4 days of the last 8 traveling, and I thought people might be interested in knowing how I do it in COVID times. And so I made this video telling all the things I went through to do it all. And this is why it's worth it. I'm just seeing this pool, which I'm coming to swim laps in for the first time. It's pretty freaking nice. It's a great cure for jet lag, by the way. And the moral of the story is, know what the rules that they think are true are, and don't feel like you have to obey them unless they absolutely force you to the wall. Because chances are good they don't even know what's going on. So just walk like you belong there, and you'll be there. This is what you look like after you've spent 4 days of the last 8 on airplanes. So I first flew from San Jose, Costa Rica, to Houston, to Frankfurt, to Rome. I only had like 2 hours in the San Jose airport to fill out the Italian form. The Italian form, you have to do it online, and you're supposed to have a copy of it, which, how are you supposed to do that from the airport? And it's one of these forms where it says you must register. And so you register, and then you get the same thing, register or log in. And then you try and log in, and it tells you have to register. It's like one of those endless loops. So I was in tears, which was partly a manipulation of the United representative, but it really didn't take a great acting job to get there because I was pretty frustrated. And anyway, this lady, Inez, at the United desk was a champ. She ended up she's like, well, maybe it's bad internet. She filled out the whole form for me in my account, but on her phone, which I guess gets better internet at the airport. So she filled it out, and she was almost finished, and then she told me, oh, you can't finish this. You have to go get on the airplane. The airplane's leaving. That's how tight it was. So she checked my bag, so I'm on my way to Houston. I mean, they actually said, well, look, could I fill this out in Houston? You know, just put me on a plane to Houston, like get one step of the way, and she wouldn't do that. But she checked my bags all the way to Rome, so I was golden. So I go through Houston, no extra time, of course. I get into Frankfurt, and I don't know what to expect in Frankfurt, but I've got my antigen test with me. And in Germany at that time, it might be different now, but I didn't even have to go through security again. They just wanted to look at my vaccination card or my negative test, and then they sent me on my way. And then I was able to get my flight for Italy, which was the one I was really nervous about because the U.S. is a Schedule C country, so I could go there with an antigen test. But I was coming from Costa Rica, which is a red country and is supposed to require 10 days of quarantine. And that was on my form because I wanted to know where I flew from, where I flew from, where I flew from, where I flew from. So I didn't really know until I landed in Italy if I was going to be able to come in or not. But the thing is, I'd been entered into the EEC in Frankfurt. And so Italy just treated us like a domestic flight, like all of the EEC is. And they just dumped me in this place full of duty-free shops, no passport control or anything. So the whole rules that I read about online were nothing, basically, except for something for me to worry about. I went to check in. There was an Alitalia representative handling check-ins for Ethiopian Airlines, and she looked and she said, this is an antigen test, they require PCR, and where's your form? You're supposed to fill out your form online, but it doesn't even matter about the form online until we get this test. And so I said, well, where can I get one locally? Hoping maybe I could get one in the airport and be done with it. Oh, somewhere locally. She was like the epitome of complete non-helpfulness. So she called the supervisor, and the supervisor will be there in 10 minutes, which being Italy is probably more like 20 or 25. She also told me that the form, which you can download it, but you can't type in it and make it printed. So you've got to download it and print it. But she directed me to the information desk at the airport, and they're set up. The information desk in the Rome airport is actually set up to print these stupid PDF forms for people who get stuck like me. They even have a little sign on their desk that says, oh, send the email. So she let me in. She took the duplicate form that I'd filled out to enter Tanzania, duplicate copy the airline maybe gave me. So then I went, and I never get an electronic visa for Tanzania. I don't know what it costs. I just pay the $100 when I get here, and it takes 10 minutes and it's easy. So I went to that desk and I did that. The guys behind the desk, they're behind plexiglass, but they're not even wearing face masks, which was a relief. As is anyone, almost no one's wearing face masks here. I love it. Anyway, so, I did my usual thing there. Paid my money, showed him my passport, blah, blah, blah. Then I went over to another guy, and the next guy was who actually put the physical stamp on my passport. So you fill out the paperwork. Oh, the first guy with paperwork gives me the same form that I give it to the lady at the front door to fill out another time. I'm like, I've already filled this form out 2 times. It's okay. I did it again. So he gave me that. I came back. I gave it to him. Got a piece of paper. Took that piece of paper to the place where you pay. Once you pay, then you take that piece of paper that they give you, and they put the stamp in your passport. Now, 3 years ago, leaving Belize is immigration-wise a pain in the behind. But anyway, leaving Belize to go across the border to Guatemala, I had one passport stamped, but I'm using a shorter term passport most of the time because my passport that has 5 years left on it only has like 6 pages. So I'm using the other passport anytime I can. So when I came back into Belize from Guatemala, I used a different passport. And some jerk at the Benque immigration in Belize wrote this whole note about how I'd come with one passport and came back with another, and it made me look like this sort of criminal person. Well, so the last guy here in Tanzania, he's reading my passport like it's a novel, which maybe it could be, but he's like, what's this about? So this thing that's at the front of my second passport that I'm using because I don't have any pages in the other one makes me look like this criminal. So I had to explain the whole thing to him, and he's looking through my passport. So I decide, okay, hey, do you want to come with me in my suitcase? And he gets this big smile, gorgeous white teeth, and gives me my passport back. And so then I pick up my luggage, I send my luggage to the x-ray, I go out and I get a taxi. So because of these 2 experiences, I've pretty much come to the conclusion, it's check out the rules, know what the rules are, but I said, don't even assume that they're going to be enforcing them. I mean, what are the chances that every person manning a little tiny airport in Africa even knows the difference between a PCR test and an antigen test? I don't either. I just know they like PCRs better. So it's if you just keep going and be sure that you're going to get where you want to go, it's really quite possible to travel. And I still hate the masks, but anyway, they've just been extended. So I hope this is helpful to people. I'd be happy to talk to you about this. You can email me, drcaseycrisp@gmail.com. And how does it get any better than this? And I hope you can have some fun adventures when you get through all of that rigmarole as well. Thanks.